started in a tiny kitchen 13 years ago. 25 kids, $1,200 raised from friends in university, and a simple truth: hungry kids can't learn, and lost days in classrooms mean lost potential. Today, Food for Education serves over 530,000 school meals every day across Kenya. It sounds like scale, right? But sometimes, as my Niger people would say, it's all packaging. Behind the numbers are difficult decisions and invisible infrastructure, especially when building in and for Africa. Let's face it, this continent, and I love it so much, is messy. But we keep solving problems in pieces, working in silos, then wondering why collective progress is hard. One pot for hunger, another for maternal health, a third for education. For the families we serve, it's never separate. These issues bleed into each other. And when we treat them as if they're separate, we don't just lose efficiency, we lose futures. My first big grant was 60,000 shillings, $60,000. I converted it to shillings 4 years later. It came through a cold application where I argued that school feeding was a climate change solution. It wasn't untrue. We now run on green energy, operate at near zero waste, and source locally. But back then, I was just trying to feed kids. I had to stretch our reality to fit someone else's frame. Locally, though, we were gaining momentum. And in 2020, a member of parliament built our second central kitchen to feed 10,000 kids in his constituency. This was our first government partnership. He covered capital expenditure, while philanthropy and parents covered the actual cost of the meal. This kitchen was the first proof point of what government budgets can do and pulled more on board. Today, 15 of our 29 kitchens have been constructed by government partners. The next step was getting the government to cover recurring operational costs of the meal, the ingredients, labor, and more. This was critical for scale and sustainability. I had a selfish interest too. I wanted to see more of my taxes at work. In 2022, we partnered with 3 governors to feed their kids, a first in Kenya. The largest commitment was in Nairobi, a program called Dish in a County. The governor became a champion, and it wasn't just lip service. He delivered real kitchens, real policy, and $9 million taxpayer dollars annually. The result? Dishi scaled 15 times in under a year. A citywide school feeding system bigger than London's, built in 12 months in Nairobi, where school feeding was not charity, but infrastructure. Every day, parents contribute a subsidized 5 US cents. Tiny payments, massive voter buy-in. That's how you outlast political cycles. The lesson? Thank you. The lesson: meet African governments and communities where they are, not where you wish them to be, and offer solutions they can own, scale, and sustain. 70% of African governments have school feeding budget lines, but many of them are paralyzed in operations. Meanwhile, hunger swallows 16.5% of Africa's GDP. Try leapfrogging hunger, and any 2050 agenda collapses under the weight of 400 million malnourished children. These children are the front line of human capital, where development begins or ends. Or, as Dr. Adeshina says, we're building gray matter infrastructure. When a road has a pothole, you can repair it. But when a child is stunted, it's irreversible. Today, Food for Education is living proof that local solutions can and must drive change across systems. A child nutrition program serving critical micronutrients on every plate, a tech-powered delivery platform driven by data, a magnet drawing kids to over 1,500 schools, an agricultural off-taker sourcing 100 tons of food daily from thousands of local farmers, a livelihoods engine with over 4,500 jobs, mostly for women, all at once. Because when you build for Africa, and you don't just build a solution, you need to build the ecosystem around it. Logistics, payments, roads, trust, the entire value chain. That's the kind of African ingenuity that deserves backing. Africa has the capacity to move itself forward, and our governments, philanthropy, and private sector must join in that journey, alongside the right global partners who act as catalysts, ready to make the biggest bets. Because when global aid retreats, African ingenuity must step forward. Not somewhat, thank you. Not someday, not eventually, now. Thank you.